Look, I think I know my style pretty well, but no one said it couldn't be improved. That's why I asked Allison Bornstein, celebrity stylist and queen of fashion TikTok, to help me with mine. Allison's taken the internet by storm with her signature 3-word method, where you define 3 words to describe yourself and your personal style. And she didn't stop there. She also coined the term the wrong shoe theory, where you choose the less than obvious shoe when you're getting dressed to create a more interesting look. She's been featured in Vogue, Goop, Refinery 29, and she even wrote a book. So needless to say, Allison has mastered the art of getting dressed, and she made it accessible to the masses in teaching us exactly how to wear our clothes so you feel more confident and aligned with yourself instead of the age-old closet full of clothes and nothing to wear syndrome. So let's see what a celebrity style expert has to say about mine. I am so excited for this session. Allison has just like a really approachable method of looking at your closet, of looking at your clothes, and she's a huge advocate of styling your clothes instead of going out shopping to buy new. So we're in front of my closet today so I can prepare to meet Allison and we can just style some of my pieces. So on her website, if you book a session with her, she recommends you go through her closet editing system and divide your closet into 3 sections: your regulars, your nevers, and your hows. So your regulars are exactly that. They're the pieces that you wear all the time. This could be your go-tos, your without fails, but it could also be things like leggings and sweatpants. She really wants to see what it is you're reaching for every single day, so she can really get a sense of what you're actually wearing versus what we all think we wear, because they can be 2 different things. So I'm gonna take a few minutes to pull out my regulars, then I'm gonna pull out my hows, which are the pieces that I don't really wear a lot, but I want to style more, that I just don't know how to style. And I'm gonna pull out some nevers, as in pieces that I really never wear, and I wanna get her thoughts on it. So let's go. I'll take you on a super quick tour of my wardrobe. It's pretty packed. I have a small closet, so I have all my year-round shoes here pretty much. Here we have some hoodies and bigger sweaters, my button-ups, some long sleeve shirts, my t-shirts, dresses, and maxi skirts. So here I have my sunglasses and my belts. Back here I have a lot of jeans. They're probably one of my favorite things to collect besides blazers. Here I've got my dress pants, dress trousers. We've got some athletic gear in here. This is where I keep my tank tops and bodysuits. Down here, some more delicate cashmere sweaters and some track style pants and some sweatpants. And then I have some extra hoodies here that I wear a lot. And then in here is where I keep my jackets and my blazers. I got a lot of them. So that's my wardrobe. I love it. I'm really happy with it, but there's definitely pieces that I could get more wear out of, and that's what I really want to do more of this year. So let's start sorting out my pieces. Okay, here's one. I'm like super into hoodies lately. I've been wearing this cropped number from Aritzia everywhere. I wear it to the gym as a layer. I guess it's a regular. I think my everyday wear is gonna be a lot more casual than I think. I actually wear more tank tops than I do t-shirts. They're still gonna be a regular though, but I'm definitely gotta pull those out. And I just pulled out some of my most worn blazers lately. So a lot of times I'm just wearing a pair of boots and like changing into sneakers when I get to work. I've been wearing these silver ballet flats. These are so cute and so comfortable. I've been wearing these pointed toe boots quite a lot. So I'll show you my regulars really quickly, but what I think I'm gonna do is set those aside. And I think I'm gonna put my nevers on this rack. They're the clothes I bypass all the time, but I bought them for a reason and I don't really want to declutter them either. So I'm really excited to hear Allison's take on how I can actually style some of these pieces. All right, so I took some time to go through some nevers that I bought because they sparked something in me. It was kind of like an emotional, ooh, had to have, and I love them. They have survived many declutters, but I feel like I just want to see if I can find new ways to wear them. For example, this bright red cardigan. First of all, I don't really wear cardigans that much. The other thing I feel like I really want to go over with Allison is I feel like I know my 3 words very well. They are minimal, classic, and sporty. And I feel like I have a modifier of edgy and relaxed. But one thing I find sometimes when I'm making combinations is that I feel like sometimes it can lean a little bit too masculine. And sometimes I'll even take it a little too far, like a little too grungy, or so much so that sometimes I feel sloppy. So I want to see how I can kind of stay true to my 3 words, see if Allison even agrees with what I think my 3 words are, and kind of find a way to make some of my more oversized pieces feel a little bit more polished. Because some of the other nevers that I have in here, for example, are these chunky loafers that I got. I find I really bypass them when I'm pairing them with jeans, things like that. So I'm curious to see her thoughts on how to style these and how I can make these feel more polished instead of very like heavy and more masculine. This is a really, really cool piece that I got from COS last spring because I wanted to play around with some colors, but I find I pretty much only wear it like on my way to the gym as a sort of cover up. So I'm curious if she has any thoughts. When you have a celebrity stylist that's gonna help you with your own clothes, like I'm gonna throw the wildcard pieces in. I'm just so curious. I'm about to hop on the call with Allison, so let's see how this goes. And if you want to see the full 1-hour styling session I had with Allison, you can check out my Patreon and I'll leave everything you need linked down below. Hey, how are you? So I did a bit of prep, which you recommend if you're gonna book a session with you. So pulling out like your regulars, your hows, and your nevers. So what do we do? Should I show you my regulars first, or like how do we get started here?
I feel like from following you, I know, but I want to see like, show me the things that you are pulling out. I say like the regulars, it's not necessarily the things that you love the most, it's the things that you wear the most. So what are you grabbing the very most?
So I thought I was like a jeans and a t-shirt gal. I feel like I'm always like in a tank top. So I'm always in like some kind of racer back tank, which I find kind of interesting. White tee, classic, obviously. The usual black blazers. And then this is kind of like out of my wheelhouse, but it's one that I'm wearing a lot right now. This like super oversized green mint blazer, like a wide leg pair of jeans, or a lot of times like an active knit kind of pant like this. If I'm like dressing up or going somewhere like special, then I'll wear a boot. But in my day-to-day, I'm in a flat or a sneaker. I'm like super into the Sambas. And these are so fun. They're very sweet.
They're really cool. Like they're sweet, but then there's also like the edge to them with the silver. Like, would you ever do it with like a white tank and those like kind of sporty pants? Or is that weird?
No, I would totally do that. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's like the wrong shoe theory in practice. Yes, can we touch on that really quickly?
The wrong shoe theory is basically adding a shoe that sort of contrasts the rest of the look. And I called it the wrong shoe theory because I feel like sometimes when I was looking through inspiration and looking at people that were really stylish, it's like they had some kind of contrasting element, whether it was like a really slouchy look with a ladylike bag or a dress with like a really sporty sneaker. It's like kind of all about the contrast. So for example, with those sporty pants, you know, our instinct would be to put a sneaker. It's like, okay, great, we know that that works. Like, let's push one beyond that. What if we did it with a Mary Jane? Or what if we did it with a really chunky sandal, you know? So it's just pushing upon past what your first instinct is. And again, it doesn't have to be like intentionally ugly or anything like that. It's just kind of a way to get you to like a way to get you out of your comfort zone. And it works for bags, it works for jackets. Like I feel like people have been, you know, unconsciously doing it, but it's, you know, when I was working with clients, I was like, okay, I think what you feel like you're missing is contrast. Like when people will say, I look really basic, it's like, I think what they're really saying is that like my look is too straightforward. It's lacking that kind of personality or contrast. And I think that's what this shoe does. But anyway, this shoe with this color blazer and like a blue jean, perfection, right?
I mean, a blue jean is like totally my thing. So I feel like this situation with like a white tank would be a vibe. I find one thing, maybe we can chat about it. I feel like my 3 words are classic, minimal, and sporty with like an add-on of like edgy and relaxed. I don't know. I feel like that really describes my style. I sometimes almost lean too much into the relaxed where like I feel like I can get like borderline sloppy. I feel like something that I struggle with is like bringing back a sense of polish to the look. What would I do to like just make it feel a little bit more clean, I guess?
Okay, great question. So would you normally do it with like a fitted tank top, or would you normally do it with like just like a regular tee?
I'd probably do either. Yeah.
I want to know like what feels better, because I feel like the fitted tank would just give it a sense of contrast and polish, I think, because it's like oversized, and then just like one thing that's a little bit close to the body. I think that would be nice. I think sometimes when we wear a lot of oversized things, the problem of when it feels like it's drowning you is when there's no hardware or no like contrasting color. It just can kind of like feel like one sort of, I don't want to say blob, but just like one oversized kind of entity, instead of having things that are like breaking it up. My would be to do the white tank top with that beautiful mint blazer and the oversized pants. And then I think it would be like the silver shoe, the black belt, and then maybe it's a bag that has a little bit of like structure and hardware or something to it. So it's like adding a little, it's adding some angles. Maybe it actually would be really nice with like the black tank top that you're wearing now too. Maybe we need like also the contrasting color. That could be worth trying as well.
Yeah, because it's got like the more square toe, but it's still like a very slim, dainty shoe. I feel like that would work. Before I did this, I kind of went through some of my nevers, or like some of the pieces that I really struggle a lot with. And it's something that I bought because I loved it on so many other people, is like the chunky loafer. But I find these to be, whenever I style them, I find them to be very, very heavy. I don't know what to do with these.
When you add these with a wide leg jean, it just feels too heavy at the bottom.
Yeah, I feel very like Limp Bizkit,
Just trying to think, like, I don't think you are somebody who likes to wear slim pants. Like, would you ever wear straight leg jeans?
Like if I'm walking like a 501, but lately I'm really more into like a wider leg for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Have you tried, would you ever do like a loafer with the sock in the 501? Or is that so nice?
Oh my gosh. I feel like at one point I wouldn't have, but I think I would try it. I bought some red socks in Copenhagen and I'm like, I feel like I need to try that. Yeah.
Like a bright color too. Like I think that could be kind of nice. Picturing you with like a white tee, big black blazer, the 501 and the red sock. And I feel like that would look really cool. If it's a miss, whatever, we tried, but I think that could be cool. And then the other thing I was saying in the beginning is like, maybe it needs a softer pant to sort of like drape around it, as opposed to, when like the jeans will just kind of like, they're a little stiff and they'll fall over, and then it has the heavy shoe and it just feels like there's so much weight at the bottom. So maybe if it's like something a bit softer, and then again, maybe balance with like your big blazer, your big leather jacket, that could be kind of nice.
Would you rock like a loafer with like a pair of leggings or anything? Like how would you make it sporty, I guess, if I wanted to lean into that?
Good call. I could see you doing the legging with like maybe a little sock, the loafer, like a sweatshirt, and then the big blazer. I think again, it's like if you're just thinking of the bottom half and it's like little teeny legging with a big loafer, then it's like, again, the scales are sort of tipping in the direction of the loafer. So it's like, then we need to add like either a chunky knit or like a big boxy blazer or a big leather jacket to, I think, again, calibrate it. But I think that could be really cool. I was thinking that maybe from what you've said so far, like when things feel off, maybe it's like feeling like it's missing a bit of that like polish, or missing a bit of that sharpness. Like I wonder if that's a word to explore. When something's wrong, what does it feel like it's missing? What am I kind of reaching for?
Someone described me as sharp the other day, not in like, I mean, just like, because like lately I've been wearing my hair very slick back lately and kind of like very direct. I love shoulder pads. So that's true. That's interesting. Yeah. So I like, maybe sharp is like really what I've been seeing as edgy this whole time.
That could be it. I feel like they're like a similar idea, but yes. So when I first came up for the idea for the 30 words, it was just like, when working with clients, I felt like people felt like they didn't have style. And that's not true. Everybody has style because you're making choices of not only what you put on your body, but like what you're buying. So it's like you have preferences, you have style, everybody has personal style. And I found that the 3 words were really helpful, giving somebody like a tool or sort of a rubric to distill them. I sort of made each word correspond with like a different thing because I felt like that would be easy and fun. So the first word is your practical word, and you find that word by looking at your regulars. Are there any common sort of themes, colors, silhouettes? Like what is happening? So for you, do we feel like it's classic?
Classic or minimal? I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, classic or minimal. Not looking at everything in the closet, but looking at the things that you actually wear. And sometimes I feel like people, when they come up with this word, they'll be like, bummed out because they're like, damn it, like I didn't realize I was so casual, I didn't realize I was so whatever. So like just know that like this is sort of like where we're at, but that does not mean that we can't change it or we can't shift it or we can't evolve. Number 2 is the aspirational word, and the way that we find this word is by looking at our mood boards. We're asking ourselves, like we just did with you, like what are we kind of reaching for, like what are we trying to achieve? When our looks don't feel right, what are they missing? And that's the second word. And do not worry if that word is like fully opposite to the first word, because that's actually great. Because as we said before, like contrast, it's all about contrast. The second word, aspirational word, and don't worry if it doesn't feel, like it works with the first word, because it shouldn't. And then the third word is the emotional word, and that is how do we want to feel? Like how do we want to show up? When I put something on, do I want to feel cool? Do I want to feel casual? Do I want to feel effortless? Do I want to feel polished? So that's just really asking yourself, like, how do you want to show up? And then the combination of the 3 is helpful because it can help you shop, it can help you get dressed. I find that when we don't love our looks that much, it's because our words are sort of out of whack. So for you, it's like if we're going too minimal, it doesn't feel like you, it doesn't feel personal. If it's too classic, it doesn't feel like you. If it's too sharp, it might not feel like you, or too sporty. So it's like actually when all of these words come together, that's when I feel like we're expressing all the parts of ourselves and creating looks that feel like us.
Yeah, that's really cool. So I'm kind of like second guessing what my 3 words are. So like classic in like the pieces, I feel like the like t-shirt, tank top, jeans, blazers. Minimal in the, I don't have a lot of patterns or like embellishments or like poofs and frills, and then sporty for sure, because I feel like in my day-to-day, like if I'm going to work or like just like going to the grocery store, I'm like in a track pant or like something very, very casual, and I'm pretty much always like in a sneaker or a flat. But I do like the idea of sharp because like you're right, I feel like whenever something's off, like whether it be like too oversized or like too feminine or too sweet or whatever, like there's always that sharp edge that I'm missing.
It's really interesting when you were saying things you didn't like. You were like, I don't have big poofy things. And I feel like that's the opposite of sharp. So it's like actually what you don't like is like when things are maybe like too romantic, too poofy, too something. So it's like that sharpness, I feel like really ensures that like it never feels like that. Like we're adding like a bit of that edge, a bit of those angles.
Like, I'm still debating between like minimal and classic because I feel like they're kind of synonyms. Like, I don't know.
But I feel like minimal is more on brand for you. Like I think minimal sporty and sharp. Yeah, I think that works. I'm just like picturing, again, like when you feel your best, I think it's when you have elements of each in. Like when you're wearing like a track pant that's sporty and like a sneaker, but then we have just like a very like simple kind of like cutaway tank top and like a sharp blazer. Yeah. Right? Isn't that kind of like what feels the most for you?
Yeah, I feel like that's very much a fit for me, big time. Yeah.
Okay, what else? Okay, I want to see, you pulled out these 2 nevers. I'd love to chat about them.
Yeah, this is Christmas. Okay, so this one, like, I love, it's like a icky kind of like fuzzy, woolly cardigan. First of all, I don't know why I bought it because I don't wear cardigans. I feel like, but I feel like when I put this on, it's like a little too sweet, a little too classic. Sometimes I feel like a librarian.
A good instinct. I think rolling up the sleeves was great. Okay, I have a few questions. Okay, one, is this something that you're like, is this a how where it's like, I like this, but I don't know how to style it? Or is this something where you're like, I don't even know if I like this?
I feel like it's kind of both. Like it is a how. Okay, I'll tell you. So I got it to go with this top, which has like these shoulder pads on it, right? So So kind of like having it layered and then having the shoulder pad with it was like a really cool, bold thing. But I feel like the color is a lot. And because I have a lot of like navy, white, cream, and black in my wardrobe, I'm like, what do I put over this? Like, I still feel like this needs like an extra layer or something.
That was such a cool idea to work together. And I feel, I don't know, like I'm not mad at that with like a blue jean. Or does that feel like too much color? Do you have like a chocolatey brown blazer, like a chocolate brown trouser, or camel, or like a camel-y color, like something in like that brown family?
Not a trouser, but I do have a blazer, yeah. Ooh, okay.
Don't you think that's nice? I feel like the brown feels like a neutral, but it's not so stark as black would be. There's like a softness to this, which I think is really cool. Would you wear this cardigan like as a top, like buttoned up, or not really?
Maybe.
Like the top two or something open, and then like the rest tuck in the front, and then throw the blazer over. I think wearing like the cardigan as a top is a good way to like sort of undo that like librarian association, where then it becomes like more of a shirt or a top as opposed to like a layer. Like I even feel like if we buttoned up the cardigan and like used it as like a scarf, you know what I mean? Like over, I don't know if it would be crazy with like the greenish or the teal one for just like a little pop of color. Okay, but if we're gonna do the cardigan as like a scarf, if we did like these wide leg jeans, we did like your tight white tank, we did the brown blazer, but then we used this as like a little tie scarf. We could go samba and kind of tie in like the white shoe with like the white shirt. Not that it has to match, but I feel like that will make it feel really intentional.
Yeah. This is another one. I don't know. Like a windbreaker material, and it's got these like really crazy big sleeves.
For like you and like us gals who like neutrals, I think sometimes when we do a bright color, it will feel really bright and really crazy. But I actually feel like if we add like the light blue and the white and add like other kind of bright elements, it almost tones it down a little. So it's like in my head, I was thinking, okay, we're missing the sharpness, but I don't know, because if we did like your hair back and like if we did like, you know, maybe like a cat eye sunglass, like do you have any that are like more like angular?
Yeah.
Like oh my God, yeah, 100%. So it's like in this case, it's like the wrong shoe here is like the sunglasses, you know? Because again, it's like, I think the times where we'll feel or people will feel boring is like when they're going all in on one specific kind of style or like one specific silhouette, or like, you know, like all oversized, all, you know, it's again, contrast.
What else do we have here? Oh, I have, this is kind of a never, and I don't really know why, because it has like the minimal and the classic for me for sure. What I would say it's a love to buy, hate to wear.
In my closet editing system, there's a part which you did, where I say take out your nevers, which are things that you never wear. And when you look at those, I feel like there's definitely always a pattern of things that you love to buy, but you don't like to wear. So these are things that, like, for you, maybe it's denim shirts. For somebody, maybe it's like, wow, I really am like attracted to like a beautiful floral flowy dress, but like I actually never wear them, but like I do love to buy them. And I feel like, again, it's like, don't beat yourself up. We all do it. Like this isn't a time to like get angry at yourself, but it's more just like something to recognize. So next time you're looking at a denim shirt or a flowy, you know, flowery dress, you're like, you know what? Maybe I don't need this because I have a million that I don't wear.
Yeah. And I think it's the denim shirt, and it's actually, I'm going to say it's a button up, because I have like literally so many.
So okay, the one that you're wearing now, like the light green blazer, could be really cute over that with like light jeans. Even if you just had like a white tank on and then you had the denim shirt open and then you threw the blazer on, just so it's like a peak of the denim. Like I think this would be cute with like a white tank. Even with maybe like, I like the button to the top, or maybe like unbuttoned a little bit at the top, buttoned in the middle, then unbuttoned at the bottom with like a trouser. Would that be nice, or no, too oversized?
Yeah. No, I think that's super chic. I feel like, you know, a lot of us want to play with that sort of oversized silhouette. Like, what's your advice on if you do feel like it's getting too much, too swallowed in fabric? Like, what are your best tips for that?
How can we kind of like mess up the proportion so it's not just like two large blocks of clothing? So like pushing up the sleeves, undoing the buttons a little bit, undoing the buttons at the bottom. Maybe it's again doing like a pointy shoe. or a pointy sunglasses, something that's actually gonna like take kind of like the oversized roundness and kind of give it contrast by adding some angles. And then of course add a belt, like always add a belt. To me, it just, like we were saying before, it's like, that's just gonna like give the eye something to sort of look at. So it doesn't feel like, so it feels like there's a bit of contrast. Again, how many times could I say contrast? Probably 1,000, but I'll say it 1,000 more. Contrast.
If you feel like you are not confident around your midsection, like, you know, would you put a belt there?
There's sort of a misconception like certain body types can't really like participate in different trends or different silhouettes, and it's less about the silhouette, it's more about the way that you style it. So like, of course you can. I find that a lot of times people that feel insecure about their midsection will want to wear things that are a bit longer, which I totally get because it feels like it's covering. But I actually think that that's creating like, not to fearmonger, but like that's creating a line just like right around your waist by having like your shirt just fall like exactly perfectly, like it's cutting you off, I guess. So I think that doing like the little front tuck, it doesn't have to be a full tuck, and then doing a belt, I think that makes a huge difference. Also, when you do the front tuck, like don't be too precious with it. Almost just think of like tucking like a few inches of the front of the shirt behind the belt buckle. This creates like a more like nice, cool, relaxed line as it's creating right at your hips. It's not good. So yes, definitely tuck. That's the emotional, that's like, how do you want to feel? If people are having a hard time with any of the words in general, I will sort of ask clients, like look through looks that you've worn that you've really liked and ask yourself like, what are some of the elements of this look that I like more than others? Or if you want to really torture yourself, you can look at looks that you don't like that you've worn and ask yourself like, what is it about this that I don't like? You know, like sometimes I'll have clients be like, the times that I looked really, I don't know, slouchy or really graphic, or you know, are times where I actually didn't like my look. So it's like, if you don't like the times that your look is really graphic, maybe a word could be tonal to like kind of remind yourself like, I don't want to wear super graphic colors. I actually like looks that feel like a bit more tonal. I don't know. But yeah, I think like looking through your own looks and seeing like when something worked and when something didn't, which also requires you to do a little bit of work by like taking photos of your looks. And it doesn't have to be pretty. It can just be like a little mirror picture every day, just like for you to have. I think it's helpful.
Yeah, that makes me wonder, do you find that over time your 3 words change, or do they feel constant? And how would you use them to, like, if you want to take your style in a different direction and evolve it?
Your words will definitely evolve, just because like if your words are a reflection of yourself, and like if fashion and personal style is a reflection of like who we are, then like we change. So like our words change and what we want to express and what we want to portray changes. So like, of course they're going to change. The whole intention of the words is to be helpful to you, like not to burden you, like to truly just like be a helpful tool. So in terms of like using them to evolve, it's like the aspirational word I feel like can help you evolve. Maybe your aspirational word, let's say for an example, is like elegant. And then as you're looking at your regulars a few months down the line or a few years down the line, you're like, wow, I've actually really added a lot of really nice, elegant pieces. So maybe like there's something else that I want to reach for. Like maybe elegant actually then becomes your practical word, you know? You know, you can like get a little bit more specific, or you can get a little bit more broad. It's really, again, it's up to you. And like, you don't have to, like, they're just yours. So like, words can mean different things to you than they do to me. And like, that's fine because they're just for you.
I love that. That's so great. I'm like super inspired. I have a pile of clothes everywhere. But I'm so excited to start.
Once your room is a mess, I'm done.
Yeah, exactly. This is validation. Thank you so much, Allison. So if you guys have any questions for her, leave a comment down below. Get the book, Wear It Well. I'll have a link for it in the description. And I'll leave all of Allison's TikTok, Instagram. If you're not following her, you have to. And if you want to book with her, it's all going to be down below. Thank you so much. Okay, I just got off the call with Allison. That was so cool and so helpful because I feel like I have a really good grasp of my style, but it really just goes to show how having another set of eyes and just like another perspective on things can help you expand and just think outside of the box a little bit. The one thing that I was really not expecting was a revamping of my 3 words. I always felt like my words were classic, minimal, and sporty with a modifier of edgy, but what I was really just like mind blown by was how Allison was able to sort of distill down the fact that I really feel my best when there is a sharp element to my outfit and my style, whether it be a piece of clothing, hair, jewelry, a bag, sunglasses. So I really like that we were sort of able to kind of pinpoint what it was when I felt off in my outfits and what sort of felt off about the never pieces that we were able to go through. So I thought that that was really, really helpful and enlightening. And so I'm gonna play around with the idea of minimal, sporty, and sharp as my 3 words. If you want to learn a little bit more about everything we talked about in this video, then definitely check out Allison's TikTok. There is a wealth of information on there. And don't forget to check out her book. It's a really easy and approachable read, but there is such a wealth of information in here, and I think it is really accessible to everyone, which is why I think it's so great that she wrote this book. So if you want more details and more nitty-gritty tips and tricks about the process and everything we talked about in this session, definitely check out this book. I'll leave it linked below. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you, Allison. And I'll see you next Sunday. Bye.